This is a screencast of me working on a race which is on Tuesday after Easter Monday at Newmarket. It's a Class 2 handicap for 4-year-olds and up on Tuesday the 18th. There are 23 entered. I presume a lot of them won't run, but I thought I'd go through some of these and show you how I assess them, because it's an interesting race and we might find some bets or a bet. I'm going to start with some of the ones that have had a run this season. For instance, Sacred Act here, John Gosden, very well bred, very lightly raced. I don't know if you can see this. He's only had 6 starts in his life, and he was gelded in 2015, and it didn't appear again until September 2016, where he won a Class 3 handicap in impressive fashion. Came from a long way back. Slowly away, held up, progress, quickened smartly when in the clear, nowhere to go, right, and led on the post. He made up a lot of ground, and that was his first run since April of 2015, so that was impressive. He was favourite or fancied for the Lincoln, of course, but he didn't make it into that race, and he went in the consolation race called the Spring Mile. Here we go. The Spring Mile. That was the name of the race, the Betway Spring Mile there, okay? But he went off 9-4 favourite, but he was only 9th. But he raced towards the stand side. There was a massive track bias that day at Doncaster. Basically, if you weren't in a single figure draw and if you didn't race to the far side, you had no chance. So the winner was drawn 6, second drawn 3, third drawn 1, fourth drawn 9, fifth drawn 7. We'll come on to strong sets because he was drawn 19 but managed to finish 6th. And then the 7th was drawn in 2, so that was good. But Sacred Act, he had no chance from that draw. But he's still only off 96. He's £7 higher than that win, and he's only had 6 starts. He is 6 years old. How much more has he got to come? How fragile is he? Only had 6 starts at 6 years old. I should think he'll be strongly fancied. He may well be able to do it. Also in that race was Strong Steps. Now, he's been taken over by Roger Fell, and it got him in February from Hugo Palmer. And he's had 16 starts, 7 on the all-weather, 9 on the turf, and he's not managed to win on turf, managed to win on the all-weather. You just have a look at his turf runs in order. He ran over 10 furlongs air in a Class 4 handicap of 83, could only finish 2nd. He then ran, this was a very good race, run, 3rd of 16, he went off favourite in a 13 grand race at Goodwood, but he still couldn't win off 89. He then went to York, he got put up £2 for getting beat, and he was well beaten. That was a stronger race, like class 2 for 31 grand. He's off a higher mark, gone up in weights and in a higher grade. My Dreamboat, as it turns out, My Dreamboat and Hathau, they're group horses. And he was well beaten. Well beaten. Okay, Blinken first time. Wasn't up to that grade. Okay. So, question mark is now, Strong Steps also ran in the Spring Mile at Doncaster. They put a boy on claiming 5. He managed to finish 6th. And it was drawn on the high side, stand side. That run can be upgraded. You can upgrade that run. So he may well have run in the frame up here somewhere, had he been drawn 1 or 2 like these, 1, 2 or 3 like these. So he needs considering, but the problem I have is the snip methodology says, you know, if you're 5 years old and you haven't won a handicap on turf, you're unlikely to. But you can be sure that the new trainer will be doing everything he can to get the horse to win. He may, if they put the £7 claimer on again, he may well be well enough handicapped to get in the frame. He's of great interest. Another horse of great interest to me is Timeless Art. This one here. Reason being, Carl Burke, it's a long-standing system. Carl Burke has a tremendous record. I don't have the stats to hand, but I do know that he has a tremendous record with his horse's second time out. When they've had a run and then they come out the next time, they improve dramatically. And you can actually make a level stakes profit just betting all of his horses second time they run in the season. Okay? So he's only a 4-year-old, being gelded, and again, he's only had 8 starts, look. And lo and behold, one of those 8 starts was 2 runs after he was gelded in June. They rested him until September, gave him a run, brought him out in October. Second run off a break, look. Hadn't run since June. Had a break, second time out after the break. In he goes. And it's an 18 runner handicap over a mile at Newmarket on good ground. Clifford Lee rode him, claimed £5, and he won by 2 lengths. Held up in touch in midfield, ridden to lead 2 out, clear, stayed on well, ridden out. Won by two lengths, another length and a half back to the third. You know, it was a really good effort. And in the analysis, it says, as you can say, he hadn't been overly raced this year, won as soon as he quickened to the front. He sweated up and was entered in the German and Irish Guineas. The ability is probably there for him to progress further. Well, he will need to, because he won that race off 78. And he's now being asked to race off 85. But with only 8 runs, and he clearly wants the mile, they made him favourite for this 7 furlong race at Doncaster on the opening day of the season. He did have a lowish draw. It was good ground. It was only a class 4. But he kept on. But it looks like the trip was on the short side. So, here we go. Timeless Art ran a solid race back over 7, but he proved well suited by a mile last year and is likely to benefit from a return to that trip. And that's what I would say. So you've got a lightly raced 4-year-old, proven at the course and distance. He's had a run, the trainer specialises in having them win second time out. He clearly looks like he's capable of significantly better form than that. And he is of great interest on if he gets in this race and runs. One thing I'm concerned about with Newmarket is on the Rowley Mile there is a golden highway up the stands rail, and sometimes you can get horses jump out, get on that rail, and they're incredibly hard to pass. That happened in the 2000 Guineas when Galileo Gold won. There was a golden highway, and if you were more than 2 horse widths off that stands rail, you were at a major disadvantage. So we'll have to look at the other races and see if there's any track bias going on. But there are other horses in here of interest, like Horsted Keynes. He's been running mainly on the all-weather. And if we look just at his flat turf form, he's 7 years old, this horse. Look at his best performances. His best performance ever was in this Royal Ascot race in 2014, 3 years ago, I know. But he ran off 100 there and managed to finish second of 28 in a 62 grand race. You know, there could well be a case that they're giving him a pipe opener ready to go back to Ascot for a 7 furlong race. But he's only rated 90 now. So he's £10 lower. That's his official mark is 90. And he ran to off 100 there and finished second. That is 3 years ago, and he is a 7-year-old now. And if we look at all of his runs, he's been running, put them in date order. So a mile at Chelmsford, Lingfield, Newcastle, Lingfield. He's been running almost exclusively all weather, and he hasn't run on the turf since Doncaster in September of 2015, when he ran off 97 and came 4th. But now he's £7 lower than that. So it's interesting. Let's have a look at his wins. So he's won at 7 furlongs, 7 furlongs, 7 furlongs and 7 furlongs. May well be that they're getting him ready to try and have a crack at a decent race over 7 furlongs on the turf at somewhere like Ascot. He has only got the 1 win on turf, which was, funny enough, a 7 furlong handicap off 89, which was 3 years ago. Let's have a look at that run. And this is how I'm analysing races. I'm trying to find form that matches to the race that they're running in. You've got to think, what is the trainer doing? Okay, so Roger Varian had him then, and always going well. He led on the bit, nudged along, and won comfortably off 89. So that was, a really good win. It was 6-4 favourite. He was clearly extremely well handicapped that day, off 89. He's now off 90. This is a horse you need to put in your tracker, because you can be pretty sure that David Simcock will know that the horse off 90 is capable of running, form like this, winning comfortably and coming second off 100. He ran 4th off 97. He ran off 103. That was a Group 3 race a long time ago. He ran off 101 in a handicap there. He ran in the Bunbury Cup there, off 100. He's £10 lower than that. Anyway, so he's very interesting, Horsted Keynes. There are others in here. There's plenty of lightly raced ones as well. But, so there you go. I will be looking into the final declarations and hopefully coming up with a bet in this race. That's just to give you some insight.